Hello, everybody, and welcome to the cafe. Grab your coffee or tea, pull up a chair, and let's hang out. This is our Sunday live YouTube show and Zoom call for our Tarot Guild members. Welcome aboard. Let's see. So, if you're one of our members, I'm going to try to get this up here. You can join us on these live Zoom calls. We have a private Zoom call every other Thursday, but on our Tarot Tuesdays live YouTube broadcast and our Sunday one, you can also join us up here on the Zoom calls. You can ask anything you want, get mentoring, coaching, even readings, or you can help us give readings during the show. Yeah, so show off your skills. For more information, go to tarotbiz.com/Zoom and you can check it out there. Free mini readings. Just put your specific question in the chat. No need to get on a list or anything like that. Just type the question in. If you want us to see it, maybe put in a big hand emoji or something like that. There's a big pink one actually here on YouTube that you can use, and just type in your question. If you don't have a specific question, but you still want cards pulled for you, just request a message from the universe and we'll see what comes up. I've got a message for you guys for the end of the week here, wrapping up the week. We'll get to that in just a minute here. If you want to skip the line, grab us a cup of coffee, go over to tarotbiz.com/coffee. That's our tip jar. You can send us some love, but you can also use it to skip the line, to make sure that we get to your question, to take your question right away. And also, you can ask additional stuff. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. That's right. We are getting closer and closer. I think we're under 200 now that we need for 1,000 subscribers. Yeah, there's almost 1,000 videos here on the channel. So go check some of them out. Really helps us out with watch time. Don't forget to like the videos, comment, even if it's like great video, because it counts, right? And subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell icon if you want to be notified every time we're doing one of these lives or when we upload a really cool informational video, a free workshop, something like that. Yep. Our main website is tarotbiz.com. This is our new website for the Tarot Guild. We're over 21 years now. I forget sometimes because it's been so long. Yeah. So I think we're getting up there. So 20 years was 2024. Then we just had our 21st anniversary, October 31st. Yes, it's always on Halloween, anniversary of the Tarot Guild. And let's see, we're going to be coming up on our 22nd year. Yeah. Crazy, crazy, crazy. If you want to get a hold of myself or any of the other hosts that you see here on the shows, just go over to tarotbiz.com/readings. That's our psychic advisor page. There's also certified members of the guild on there. If you're a certified member and you're not on there because the website's new, we haven't gotten hardly any of our members on there yet. So there's just the staff and a few people. We did get a few of them, but I know there's like hundreds of certified tarot readers, certified tarot professionals, certified tarot masters, certified tarot grandmasters out there from the guild. We'd love to get you up there on that. But if you're looking for me or Michelle, Dr. Rose, Pamela, Ellie, Corby, Dan Matheny, I mean, there's a lot of us up there. When you click on our face or our name, if they have their own website, it'll take you right to their website. You can contact them from there. if we have if any of those have a page, like I have a page on tarotbiz.com itself. Mine's tarotbiz.com/dax. And when you click our face or name, if we have a page on Tarot Biz, it'll take you right over there. And then you can contact us. It has email, all of our social media, plus buy buttons if you want to book a private reading. You can do all that at tarotbiz.com/readings. Let's see here. And let's see. Oh, Broken's in the chat. Message from the universe. All right, we'll get to that in just a minute. Broken. We moved our private members only community off of we had a psychic cafe, which is the name of our show here. We had a psychic cafe website that had a community on it, and we decided to move to School. Skool. Yes, we're on the School platform now. Looks like this when you arrive there. Yeah. And there's two different memberships. There's the standard is $9 a month right now. And we have a premium one that's all inclusive for $19 a month. Or if you don't like monthly, you can lock it in for $199 for the whole year. So if there's any price increases, you're locked in. Also, you're going to save 13% off of paying it monthly. So that's another great option that you can check out there. Oh, Charlotte's jumping on. Hi, Charlotte. Charlotte's coming on here.
Hey.
Good to hear you. Okay. And you can just go to tarotbiz.com and click join. If you click join at the top of the page, it'll scroll you to the bottom and you can read all about the membership. And then when you click join the Tarot Guild, it's going to take you over to what you're seeing right now, to the school community. And you just click the yellow join $9 a month button, and you'll be given the choice of $9 a month, $19 a month, or $199 for the year, depending on what you want to do. Okay. And however, if you want to go straight over to the school community, I made this URL, thetarotguild.com/community will take you right over there. I'm going to grab that and pop it in the chat here for everybody. So you can pop over and pop over and join us on the new community on School, Skool. I think that's it. I think I covered all the announcements. How you been, Charlotte?
Just good. I'm sorry there's going to be some background noise. Just warning you in advance.
Sure. Well, if you're not talking, just hit mute like you did. And
yeah.
you know the routine, right?
Yeah.
You,
Yeah.
you got your avatar up there instead
Well, yeah.
of your video.
I was feeling foxy today in a cartoon way.
Well, any way we can see you, we're happy, or hear you at least, right?
Yeah. What's going on today?
Oh, we're just hanging out. We're taking readings, and I'm about to do the message to end the week. That's what I'm doing now. So I pull cards on Monday and do a message for the whole week through Sunday. And then on Tuesday, I have the show, and I usually have a PDF handout that has the message and the card that I pulled and the message for the week. Sometimes there's also, really cool like exercises, guided meditations, things like that on there. And I make a whole PDF. In fact, I'm glad you brought that up because what's going on here, because when I do this message, it's to end the week. So on Sundays, I pull a card and I'm ending the week. Okay. And if you didn't get the message, I actually still have that available at tinyurl.com/message 0302-2026 is the date. So it's always tinyurl.com/message date. That'll take you over there. And let me grab the URL for that. I held on to that from Tuesday for today's show in case anybody wanted to check out. It's a really cool PDF, and you can download that and see what the message was. It was actually the death card. And so we talked a lot about, things dying off and moving on to new things, transition going on here. And let me do the message of the message to end the week. Yeah. Let's see. So I got the 7 of Cups to end the week here on Sunday. So as you head into this Sunday night, you might find your mind swirling with what ifs, new dreams, or perhaps a bit of indecision. The 7 of Cups acknowledges that you're standing in a gallery of possibilities, but it cautions you against getting lost in the clouds. That's what happens, folks. This week, the universe isn't asking you to choose every cup. It's asking you to choose the one that is truly sustainable and aligned with your soul. I really, I'm so in alignment with this message. This is so me, but I'm sure this is going to resonate with a lot of you out there. So it's easy to be seduced by a quick fix or a flashy distraction, but true magic requires discernment. So that's, focusing on one thing. Use this weekend to quiet the noise, filter out the illusions, and focus on the one path that feels grounded in reality. Yes. Oh, and I got something for that. Yeah, I got an idea. You have the power to manifest anything, but you must first decide what is worthy of your energy. So here's a master's tip. This card is often called the window shopper card. It's a great time to brainstorm, but wait until Monday morning to sign any contracts or make any permanent commitments. So there you go. There's the message. However, reading that, I got a flash what we can all do when we're looking at, all these possibilities, Charlotte. You just put your hand on the solar plexus down here and just ask yourself about each one. Redo it for each one. And ask yourself, is this the right path? And then check in with your gut. Check in with your solar plexus down here. You're going to get a gut instinct on what it is you're supposed to be focusing on.
Yeah. Yep. Gut instincts are huge. Maybe you don't remember, but is this not similar to the readings that you and Michelle gave me last week on Crown Share Day?
Crown Share, yeah. I can't remember the exact cards and the exact thing, Charlotte, but I think you're right. You see, I find that as we're pulling cards for messages, pulling cards for people as time goes by, I find that there's like blocks of time where the universe is like emphasizing certain concepts and things like that, and it always lands right when we need it, and it's not for like everybody, but like you'll you'll now I forgot the word. Resonate
Things will resonate.
Yeah, things will resonate like in a message or in cards that we draw for you asked a particular question, or maybe asked for a message from the universe. And if you're getting the same vibes from Crown Chair Saturday and then today, uh, that's a big hint from the universe. Yeah, for sure. I'm in the midst of the same thing myself. I mean, trying to, get narrowed in on things for 2026. I know we're already in March. I mean, it's just zipping by.
Yeah,
And
it's insane that we're already, well, I mean, past the first week, we're starting the second week of March.
oh yeah, it's insane. It's just zipping past. I mean, 2025, I completely forget now because it went so fast. And before you know it, we're in 2026. Now we're already in March in 2026. And I still don't have things dialed in for 2026. And it's funny because I spent a lot of January telling people to do that, right? And I'm so busy helping everybody else out and trying to get them on track for 2026 that I didn't get myself. So yep, still working on that, Charlotte. Oh, Maria
Well,
came in. Hi, Maria. What were
there's
we?
so there's so much stuff going on right now that
It's very
I mean,
distracting.
it is incredibly distracting because they're not little things, they're huge
Big
things
things.
that, and the way they affect mankind
Mm-hmm.
and humanity makes it almost impossible to ignore them or to just, go, well, it doesn't really matter what I think, what's going to happen is going to happen. But I think the things that are happening right now, if we don't at least put some energy into if we can't do anything else other than try to funnel some positive energy into the situation, are we even, do we even have a heart? I mean, it's just,
Mm.
um, to me, it's just huge, the atrocities that are happening right now. I mean, I try not to, I try to stay off news feeds, but you still know what's there. But
I
anyway,
know. I
and
try so hard not to watch Charlotte. But my dad, I'm taking care of, you know, he's 85 now, and MSNBC is on not, almost nonstop. And so whenever I'm walking around, I there it is. You can't get away from it.
yeah,
I try going in my room and watching YouTube and watch videos. I'm studying in a couple courses right now. I go out on the patio, because I I want to be informed, but not. I just don't want to hear it not stop. You know.
and it's hard not to when you're a compassionate person,
Yeah. Oh, by the way,
or
Maria,
an
Maria says
empathetic
Charlotte is a
person.
fox.
Yeah, feeling
That,
foxy today. Um,
oh,
anyway, it's just,
real quick,
yeah.
Charlotte, I wanted to say shout outs to Bill. Bill came in from the Tarot Guild, so I wanted to say hi to Bill. By the way,
Okay, Bill.
Bill says also here. So if anybody else is listening live and you haven't said anything in the chat yet, pop in the chat and just say hi. And if you want us to pull a card for you or something, put it in there. Or if you have a specific question, type that in. What were we going to say, Charlotte?
Oh, I don't know.
Mm. Well, we can talk
In
more
one,
about current events later on if you want.
it's all right. They're, you know what? They're there. We can use
Mm,
this as a safe space to not. I just brought that up as a,
mm.
I mean, because I
I
feel
don't
like
mind it.
it's to me, I'm like, how did we already get through the first week of March in 2026 already? What's been happening?
Yeah.
Because my personal life hasn't been that full and that busy that I went, how did time fly? But as you watch things unfold on national television,
Yeah.
Uh, it does for me. It tends to occupy my mind, and I just think surely things can't get any worse, and I know better than to do that because
Don't call
that
me Shirley.
yeah, yeah. Don't call me Shirley. And it's also the universe going, hold my beer. I'm gonna you
Well,
don't think things can
Charlotte,
get
I
any
can
worse?
tell you.
Watch this.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you what it was for me because the this past week, uh, I'm big into Apple now. I made the jump. So for 35 years I was on Windows. For 14 years I was on Android phones. And when my last Samsung was dying, I decided to switch to iPhone. Now, before that, though, I had switched like 6 months earlier. I had switched to MacBook because 35 years of Windows, uh, all those, all I could afford was mid range Windows machines, typically plastic. I think my
Right.
last one had a nice i7 chip in it, and it was pretty good deal. It was a little 13-inch, and but the where the hinge is, where the display is, broke, and I'm like duct taping it and taping it with electrical tape, black electrical tape, and I held it together and kept using it for a lot of months like that. And then I heard about the M1 chips coming out from Apple, and I was a Windows person. I couldn't imagine doing Mac OS, but I heard how fantastic they were. And I said, okay, I need a new laptop. So from that 13-inch, I went and got a 16-inch big honking M1 MacBook Pro. I also bought a Dell XPS 17-inch, huge, because getting older, I need to actually be able to see. And I used those two machines side by side for a few weeks. And the Apple MacBook, just destroyed the Dell XPS. And my whole life, I wanted an XPS because it was like the MacBook. It was very well constructed, really great build quality, premium, but they were out of my price range. Well, when I could finally afford it, the Max M1 Max come out, and I'm like, okay, I'll get one of those. Oh wait, but I always wanted an XPS, and I can afford it now, so I buy a $3,000 XPS, and I'm using them side by side. And like I said, it just the speakers were better, the trackpad was better, the displays were kind of very similar. I think the MacBook Mini LED was a little better. Uh, One thing for sure is that it had more battery life because of the particular mini LED displays on these. And the MacBook rendered videos in half the time that the Dell XPS did. It lasted. Well, first of all, I had full performance unplugged, with which the Dell didn't. But on battery, because like I said earlier, I'm out on the patio a lot. Uh, it lasted nearly 4 times as long as the XPS. So even though that was my dream machine, for forever, I ended up sending the XPS back to Dell, and I kept the MacBook. And I still have the same M1 MacBook from over 4 years ago. It's going to be 5 years. So about 6 months later, my Samsung was dying. I was like, well, if the MacBook's this good, maybe I should try iPhone. So I got an iPhone. I also got an Apple Watch because why not? It was actually half price if you bought an
What?
iPhone.
Yeah. Why
You know,
not?
and I'm just blown away. 4.5 years later, I'm just blown away at how well it all just works, and it all just works together. And then they came out with new operating system. Not all new, but like the way it looks, they call it liquid glass, and it's on all three devices, and it's just fantastic. Well, this past, week, the beginning of March, uh, they came out with a whole slew of new devices and laptops and all this kind of stuff. And so I've been spending my days watching YouTube videos and checking all this stuff out and everything like that. So I know that's why my beginning of March just flew by. You know, you
Yeah.
you said you really didn't see anything in your personal life that was busy, 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 or anything that would like make the beginning of March go real fast for you.
Well,
Uh, but it
really,
wasn't
the whole
mine.
year,
But it wasn't
honestly.
mine. Yep, yep. Oh, by the way, Maria says I'm drinking my Italian espresso coffee. Yay! I was actually going to make
Cheers.
tea, but I decided to make coffee. Mm. Bill says, "Well, now you're in a seamless ecosystem." Oh yes, and they call it the walled garden, which immediately I think of like the Ace of Pentacles. And let me tell you, Bill, I am happy to be in the walled garden. I do not care. you know, I love it here. Um, Maria's asking about her question, uh, asking about her operation on a cyst on her mouth, and her dentist is 70 years old. His name is Rolf from Norway. Oh, cool. Really cool. Actually, you already asked this question and I pulled cards on it, Maria. I don't want to pull cards again on it when it's been less than a week. I mean, I think it was Tuesday. If not, it was last Sunday, but it was definitely Sunday or Tuesday, just a week or less than a week ago that I pulled cards on your operation. And we had that, remember we had that whole conversation about how we can't diagnose illnesses, and I really shy away from doing readings about health issues, but I will pull cards on you as a person and how you're reacting to a situation. And sometimes some helpful things will come up that are not necessarily predictive, not necessarily oh diagnostic, but just everyday wisdom on certain things. Like I'll get a card that's or a couple, two, three cards that suggest hydration. I'll get a lot of water or something like that. Um, but yeah, I did try to you know the cards that came out were from what I remember, it was very positive. I know I got a major arcana card and a couple other yes cards that it was going to be, because I was asking in my head, is this going to be successful? You're going to be able to get over it quickly, things like that, which, we're not really supposed to do. But if I do it in my head, and then I'm just showing you the cards, and you can draw your own conclusions. It looked really positive though. Yeah. Question from, okay, so Broken had asked for a message from the universe. Oh, Charlotte, I don't know if you have a deck, if you're going to pull cards or not. You don't have
I
to.
don't. I
That's
don't.
fine.
I got a really strong intuitive hit on Maria's thing though about aftercare. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh, that's
I
a good
mean,
one. Yeah,
aftercare is huge. I mean,
right.
because I was just sitting here and it just kept after I just kept hearing aftercare, aftercare, aftercare,
Yeah.
aftercare. So it's like the ball's in your court right now. You need to pay particular attention to your aftercare. So
Well, you keep having those intuitive hits there, Charlotte. Um, and that's exactly what you just said, is exactly what I was talking about, you know, we can still give our personal idea or advice in regards to a situation. It's different if you're doing a private reading with someone, but on these shows, we try not to give legal advice,
right.
financial advice, or medical advice, but telling somebody to pay attention to the aftercare, and even telling them if you're having pain issues or so forth, there's hypnosis techniques for that. There's NLP. Get a Reiki treatment. None of that is illegal to say. It's just the other stuff, like we don't want to diagnose it. Like if somebody in a similar situation said, I have this growth, is it cancer? I can't pull cards and say yes.
Mm-mm. Yeah, no.
But I can give advice. I can talk about your mental state. I can give suggestions, things that might help, you know, stuff like that. Okay, let's get back to this because I don't know if you have been at one of our shows recent, Michelle. I almost call you Michelle. Charlotte, where I was talking about, I miss Michelle. Anyway, she's on kind of a hiatus. She's only doing her Crown Share Saturday show on the fourth Saturday. I'm going to show
Oh,
you.
I didn't know. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, and so like no show yesterday, missing her. But Charlotte, yeah, I don't know if you've been on one of the reasons. I think so because you were on the Crown Chair, and I
I was, Crown Share was the last one,
mhm.
and before that, it was on one of the Sunday shows where there
Okay.
was, several
Well,
people on, but that was
then
it,
you probably remember that I was saying how, we're not really doing topics anymore. We're just doing readings and what's going on at the Tarot Guild on Saturday and Tuesday. Tarot Tuesdays and Psychic Cafe Live here, what we're doing right now on Sundays. It's also an opportunity, as I said in the beginning of the show, for members to come on the live Zoom like you're doing right now and either, help with the readings, show off your skills, and or ask questions about your business, how to grow your business, social media, marketing, uh, business structure, platforms to use, your website, anything you have questions. Or if you're a student of my Tarot by the Numbers course, it's your opportunity to ask questions then, And so we were doing topics, but it was stretching the shows out where it was at least an hour, often an hour and 15 minutes, an hour and a half. What we decided to do is when we have a topic, and most of the topics are actually on the school community. If you click on classroom, the classroom tab, and go to the section on workshops, we have upcoming workshops. And those are actually all the topics that we were talking on these Sunday shows. Well, a lot of our members wanted us to make that private. So now it's members only, people that are on the school community. When we do those topics, it'll be on various days and nights and times, and it'll be a private Zoom call, members only. Or a lot of them we might just pre-record and just put up in that workshop section. So we've
Mhm.
stopped. So my whole point of this is we've stopped doing that on Sundays, and we've shortened the shows down. I'm trying to keep it at a half hour. We're already at 11:33 here. Master numbers 11 and 33. I love it. But let me try to get through. I pulled cards for Brooken, and we'll see if there's any
What
more questions. And then I'm going to
what
just
was Brooken's question?
Oh, it was just a message from the universe. So if anything intuitively, just pops in, let us know, Charlotte. What I pulled was the Three of Swords. So there's some kind of a situation, Brooke. Either you are aware of this or you haven't felt the effect yet. I don't know. But typically, when this card shows up, whatever it is that's happened has already happened. It's in the past because swords are thoughts and ideas. And even though we call this, the anguish card, and use all these emotional descriptors for, being in this state of, um, it's really about thoughts and ideas because it's swords. So whatever vestige that's left behind from something from I think the recent past, it's all just your thoughts. That's, it's gone. It's just you thinking of the past, which doesn't exist anymore. Well, quantum physicists would argue with that because a lot of them say that the past and the future and the present are all there all the time. But you understand from a practical standpoint that it's no longer affecting you, you know. And so the message coming through is to work through that and the thoughts and everything. And then I get the 10 of cups, that, you know, idyllic scene and situation there with the family and the house, and everything's wonderful, and usually there's a rainbow in a lot of the versions of the 10 of cups, you know. And
Love that deck, by the way.
oh yes,
It's
so
got the coolest artwork.
oh god, I just love it. In fact, if you want to grab a copy, thetarotguild.com / Soha Tarot. It's SOHA, Soha. So just type in your browser, thetarotguild.com / Soha Tarot. If there's anybody in the audience that, you know, just loves this deck like I do, it's my 2026 deck, is what I told everybody, Charlotte, when I got it for Christmas from my mom. Of course, mom's passed. I'm going to put it in the chat here for everybody so they can grab a copy of it. But, you know, mom passed last March. Actually, we're coming up. It's almost a year
Oh
already.
my gosh, has it been a year?
A year on the 28th. It's a year already. But somehow, you know, I wasn't searching decks or anything. And this deck just showed up. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. Let me take a closer look. So I took a closer look, and I'm like, holy cow, you know. And then I looked at it on Amazon, and it was $22.22 at the time.
What?
Master, yeah, master number 2222. And I was like, and if
Here's your sign.
I was like, if this is not a sign from the universe, I got to get this deck. And then subsequently, Pamela said, well, you know, that was your mom, right? She wanted to get you a Christmas present.
Wow.
Yep. I mean,
Yeah.
I still get shivers, you know.
That I have a deck that it didn't come to me that way, but it was actually it's one of my favorite decks. It's my roomie deck. Now it's one of my favorites because I tend to have several favorites, but at first it felt really foreign and uncomfortable to use. And I was like, ooh, because sometimes you just pick up a weird vibe and you're like, what's this energy? What's the source of this energy? Why am I feeling this way? So I put it away. uh, and then it was a couple of months, and then I just kept getting this, like, get that deck out. You need to get that deck out. You need to get that deck out. And I was telling somebody, one of my woo woo acquaintances that about it, and they go, "Oh, that's your grandpa on your dad's side, who I had never met."
Uh-huh.
But he was like, "This is the message. This is the deck when you want a message from me.
Oh,
This is the deck."
yeah.
And
Very
which
cool.
was really odd. And and then after that, I was quite receptive to everything that came through. But those first couple of months, it was just it was uncomfortable to use. And so I did just put it away. I mean, it's a testament that I didn't actually burn it or something. But yeah, I just tucked it away for a while, and then all of a sudden started getting this really strong hit to or use it. But on uh before we completely forget about Brooken,
Yeah.
I have no deck, because I wasn't going to come on, so I
And I
didn't get
got
any
another
decks
one
out.
from Sprink in the chat that we need to get to too. So,
But Brooken, uh, I, as soon as you said, you know, just the message from the universe, I could see her moving forward, and and then it, the job. So I don't know if she's looking for a new job. Brooklyn, I don't know if it's a he or she. If they're, we'll use their. I don't know if they're looking for a new job, thinking about a new job, but I'm getting like skip past the first one
Hmm.
and focus maybe on the second or third, but you will be moving
Oh,
forward, forward, forward. I feel like it's a fast forward, like when you're scrolling through, you know, parts of videos that you don't like or whatever, and you say you fast forward. That's what I feel like it's happening, but in a good way. And just like, fast forward, you're on to bigger, better things. Uh, the energy is very happy, very positive, very
right.
any of that stuff. So I might be completely wackadoo out there today and picking up on something completely different, but that's what I got with for Brooken. So
Well,
I'd
thanks for
love to hear
that,
if that
Charlotte.
resonates with her at all.
Yeah,
Dan.
let us know in the chat, Brooke, and if you're still here, if that resonates. I that word's tripping me up for some reason.
You
Oh,
got it. You got it this time.
Rose was telling everybody about her YouTube channel. She's starting a new one. It's called Rose Reads Tarot. And
Oh,
if you
hey, Rose.
and if you're in the chat and you look at her screen name there, and there's the at sign Rose Reads Tarot. If you type in your browser youtube.com/ at sign Rose Reads Tarot, it'll take you right over there. Go over there and subscribe to her channel, and we're going to see what Rose comes up with. Also, if you're in the live chat right now, you can click on her name and it'll pop up, and you can what does it exactly say? Okay, channel activity, go to channel. You can click go to channel in the drop down menu, and it'll take you over to her channel. A couple other things.
I like that name, by the way, Rose. Very
Rose Reed's
clever.
Tarot. Yeah,
Hmm.
we went back and forth and thought of a whole bunch of different ideas, and that was the one that Rose actually came up with on her own and just settled on. Rose Reed's Tarot, and I'm like, hey, it's very illiterate, and I just not illiterate, but what's the word for it?
Alliteration.
Illiteration. It's hard to say that and not get it mixed up with the other word. Anyway, but yeah, a couple of things here. So Sprink wanted the message from the universe. And oh, Maria was saying something about her grandmother. We'll get back to that in a second. I want to take care of Sprink just wants a message. So I'm getting the Queen of Swords for you, Queen of Swords energy. And so, okay, whatever's going on with this situation, uh, you need to look at it analytically. And you may have to, put the sword down. You may have to like slice through all the garbage and everything like that. This message that's coming through, also the Knight of Cups, which is, the knights actually build. They're master number 22. They're the master builder number. Okay, so there's something you should be working on and building. Now, also the Knight of Cups in particular, because it's cups, emotions and relationships and so forth. He's the romantic dreamer. All right. So it's kind of a two-edged sword, which we actually do have on here. Keep losing my blue screen, sorry. And so on one hand, it's like, yeah, you need to be building. And on the other hand, it's like, but don't get stuck in the fantasy, in the romance about it. Okay. And then the Page of Cups shows up as well, which is often a message coming through, especially something emotional, because again, we're talking cups here, but all the pages are about acquiring knowledge as well. They're the students. So I feel that whatever this situation is, when we're talking about, looking at it with a rational eye, and then building, you're going to be building something, but you may need resources. So the pages can be resources, they can be knowledge that you don't have. With anything you're doing, what is the big problem you're solving for someone? And if you don't have, I feel like you might already have all the skills and abilities, but this card is coming up for some reason. And I think that when you look at whatever the big problem is that you're solving for people, it doesn't matter, by the way, if you don't have the skills, because in today's day and age, and with the internet, and with $12 courses on Udemy and so forth, you can learn any skill you need to solve whatever this big problem is. And that's what this card is talking about. It's talking about, you know getting the skills and then building something, and you're solving a big problem for people. Now Maria, I told her about, her question, and it already answered that. She said, I have a great grandmother. Her name is also Maria. She died in 1983, almost 10 years before my birth. Is she one of my guides? I thought that was very interesting. So, Charlotte, if you're picking up on, is Maria's grandmother Maria a guide? And I'm going to see what I get here. Oh, yeah.
Well, what I'm going to say about that is not necessarily that I'm getting any. Well, I am actually getting a hit, but what I know to be true
Mm-hmm.
is that our loved ones are always around us.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I wouldn't necessarily categorize them as guides because we do have guides,
Which
just like
are
we have
not our family
archangels,
members.
we have guardian angels, like that. But our 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 family is always around us, and like my grandma Kornberg, that she would be the wife of the other grandpa that I just talked about. She's always with me. She's always here, and she's funny. She's funny, and she knows how to deal with me, and I love that. But that's the sidetrack. But here's so Maria, yes, she's always with you. So if you want to ask her something, then you just tune in and ask,
Mhm.
and then don't second guess what she's saying. But here's a game
Yeah.
that I like to play, and I do it more when I'm in my vehicle. I don't know why I started doing it there, but
Hmm.
I think it was after I realized that my grandma Kornberg was with me all the time, and my dad, is the second most. But um, I would ask, "Who's with me today?
Yeah.
Who's with me?" Because my grandma had made the comment to a medium. I'm not as good at picking that stuff up, but that she really liked going and living my life with me. At the time I was going to CrossFit, believe it or not,
Hmm.
doing different things like that. And she liked going and doing. And so I just would start asking, who's with me today? Some days it would just be she and I. She
Yeah.
always sits right next to me. I have a bench seat I have a Yukon, and I have a bench seat for the front seat. So she's always sitting right next to me. Um,
Hmm.
and then sometimes that whole Yukon is jam packed with people I don't necessarily know. In fact, most of the
Oh,
time,
wow.
I know the people in the front seat,
Hmm.
but the rest of the time, I mean, so Yukons, I mean, they're just a bit down from a suburban,
Yeah.
and in fact, they're anyway. But so they're, I mean, there's a lot of room there, and
Hmm.
it will just be chock a block full, as you can get, of entities or whatever you want to call them.
Hmm.
And other days, it's just my
Well,
grandma and me. And
wait,
so
wait do you see the card I got then? You're
it's
just,
kind of it's kind of a fun thing to do, because and then but you have to have an open mind, and you're not gonna have a whole vehicle full of people. I mean, honestly,
yeah.
I would be surprised if my grandma wasn't there, but she has the right to not be there. But
Hmm.
she's already declared that she's with me all the time, uh and has been since she
Yeah.
passed. Um, But it's a fun exercise to try, and you don't necessarily have to be in the car. I would like to get on a city bus and
It
try
could
it
be
and see how.
anywhere.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
would love to get on a
A
city
city
bus and see
bus,
how.
especially if it's during the time when it's like empty, and it'd be just so funny to, see all that. Um, but
Yeah, see how full I could
real
get the
real
bus.
quick, I got to do some stuff in the chat here because Ellie just came in. I want to make sure to say hi to
Hey,
Ellie.
Ellie.
Also, we got a response from Sprink and said that is a beautiful deck. I'm lucky with several skills and love learning. Yeah. So keep on learning, Sprink. And then Maria, back to you. I got the Lover's card. This card showed up, and unlike other versions of the Lover's card, I mean, look at the size of that angel there and the wings, and right over top of the couple there, looking over them, over what's the word, Charlotte? Overwatching them. I can't think of the right word, but
Yeah, just
overseeing them,
overlooking, overseeing.
and so I mean, I pulled this card before, Charlotte, you went into your story and everything like that, right when she asked, and I was just freaking out because I was like, I mean, talk about the perfect answer. No, it has nothing to do with lovers and has nothing to do with romance or anything like that. Unless there's a situation, Maria, but basically, it's a direct answer to your question.
It
And
really is.
and then I pulled another card and I got the Ace of Swords. So, once again, Ace of Swords is a big fat yes. Yeah. And swords, thoughts and ideas are communication. So I feel like this card showing up to say, hey, Maria, you should work at it. Work at the communication. Just like how Charlotte was describing what she does, you could do something similar and, get into communication.
Yeah,
Uh,
and oh, sorry. When you're done, let me know because I have one more quick thing to add that will help.
okay, let me check here real quick. She got her name from her. I'm sure she's here, watches over me. Yep, that's exactly the message. Go ahead, Charlotte. And then
So,
I got
so
I got to do upcoming shows and stuff.
the thing about guides and people that are with us, we always have our free will, and they want to help. They always want to help, but we have to ask. So, if you're just waiting for something to happen, I mean, like the thing with, like Dax's deck. Okay, yeah, that's gonna happen. Stuff like that's gonna happen. But if you want to be more interactive and know that you're getting messages from her or whatever, ask questions or say, "Hey, if you're around, give me a sign like a penny at my feet or a feather, a certain color feather or a certain color bird or a flower that you wouldn't necessarily see. Like all of a sudden you see a tulip on a table in a cafe or something, and anyway, something that's, just decide what sign you want them to show you when they're around, and then let them know, let me know when you're around. But also remember to ask
Hmm.
questions if you want more input and you want to feel more safe and more secure in their love more, and involve them, actually involve them by asking them questions and then being still enough for a moment
Hmm.
to get their feedback, right?
Exactly. Yep. Oh, popping back to Sprink. Sprink said, I am trying. This is very true. Thank you. So we definitely hit on Sprink's message from the universe question. Okay, we are like way over time. I've been trying to cut these Sundays, like I said, down to 30 minutes, and Tuesdays, Tarot Tuesdays, we've been doing 30 minutes as well because we haven't been having as many people come in. But Gee, I might have to stretch Sundays back to an hour again because it's almost an hour.
Well, you get Charlotte on here who has the gift of gab, and
Yeah. Yep.
it's hard to hold it to a half an hour because I likes to talk.
I know. And, as long as we have people in chat and asking questions, I don't mind doing an hour and a half, 2 hour show. It's just that we weren't getting that. And,
Right.
and, and a bulk of the time was actually those mini workshops we were doing. Now that we've cut those out, you know, well, we're adjusting things as we go along here. And then Tuesdays is just really quiet. And so I'm hoping that will build up over time. So if you're, watching us now or listening to this in archive, be sure to join us on Tuesday. Speaking of that, that's where I was going next was, what's actually coming up on the network here. Well, Tarot Tuesdays are now every Tuesday, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. And, I'm going to give this, I was actually going to stop Tarot Tuesdays at the beginning of March because we had been doing it since January and it wasn't building up. So last week's wasn't too bad. It was like a half hour, but there was a little more participation. Um, we'll give it through March here and see what happens, you know. So join us on Tuesday the 10th, and then we'll be back again next Sunday, a week from today. So that's our Psyche Cafe Live. And I changed the banner a little bit, emphasizing that we're live because when it shows up on YouTube, a lot of people, seeing the banner might not, it was a little more subdued and at the bottom, and people weren't catching maybe that we're live. And you can, this channel has always been more about the lives than about pre-recorded content. And then I put the, have life questions because that's where we're going now. We're going in the direction of it's all about doing readings and talking about tarot and things like that. So that's next week. Now remember, our Thursdays, these are our private Zoom calls on Thursdays. They're members only, and you can get the Zoom link on our calendar on the school community. I also always put a post on the community page. Everything coming up gets its own post, and the link to the Zoom call will be right in there. But also on the calendar, when you're looking at the calendar, looks like any regular calendar, and then each event's listed. If you click on the event, it'll open a box, and in that box, information, time, all that stuff, but the Zoom link is in there. So either the calendar or the post on the community. And we're now, instead of doing every Thursday because we weren't getting a lot of participation, that this is for people that need assistance and so forth. This past Thursday, Dr. Rose, who's in the chat that we were just talking about her YouTube channel, and it's Rose Reads Tarot, and that's what we were talking about. We are talking about our channel, talking about names and different strategies and things like that, and that's what it's for. That's why it's the community and our new website, why it's called Tarot Biz, because it's all about the business of tarot. And we're here to help you. We have a live Q&A, coaching, and coffee. If we just hang out and have coffee, share our favorite decks or books or something like that, that's perfectly fine. But if you're a student of my course and you have questions, you can join us and ask your questions. If you need coaching or mentoring or assistance with your tarot biz and you have questions, that's what these Thursday Zoom calls are for. Our next one will be Thursday, March 19th. So not this Thursday, but the following Thursday. And I did want to mention again about Michelle being on hiatus. She's got a lot of stuff going on. And so for this month at least, maybe next month and the month after, we don't even know. But she's playing catch up, and so she needed to take a hiatus, but she's still going to do her Crown Share Saturday episode, the fourth Saturday of the month every month. She loves that. That's her favorite show. This past Crown Share, Charlotte, you were in the chat. It was really good. And this is another opportunity, by the way. If you're a member, you can join us on the Zoom call for Michelle's Mystic Corner for the Crown Share Saturday. The next one will be Saturday, March 28th. And you can come on, bring your deck. Michelle pulls a card of the day, and we hold on to that card of the day. And for each question in the chat, or people in the Zoom that have questions, we pull a card, all of us. We pull a card and put it with the card of the day to get the answer. And it's really a lot of fun. Yeah. So I just wanted to, even though it's a ways away, I wanted to touch on, Michelle hasn't gone away. She's gonna still be doing her Crown Share Saturday show, and that'll be March 28th. But coming up this week, we'll see you on Tarot Tuesday. Yep.
Day
Let's
after
see.
tomorrow.
Yeah, already. Wow.
Yeah, and happy, although Dax doesn't celebrate this, happy,
What?
oh, hey, if there's any listeners or people out there from Utah, in Utah today, it's National Fry Sauce Day today.
Oh, fry sauce?
Yeah, because Utah's kind
I
of
don't even know
credited
what
for
fry
being
sauce is. It just sounds
that's because you're not from
hot.
Utah. It's like what you dip your fries in. Like when you get French fries and it's kind of an
We
orangey
dip ours in
color.
ranch dressing. For years when I was younger, I came from Pennsylvania, in just north of Philly. I was born in Philly, and we were all about the ketchup. And then,
Yeah,
but then I moved out here to Arizona in the military, and some of my friends, and I think I used to go to this one Denny's all the time, and I kind of became friends with one of the servers, and he was like, "What are you doing?" And he goes in the back and comes out with a big giant container, like a bowl shrunk down, big bowl full
yeah,
of full of ranch, full of. He's like, "No, you dip it in the ranch."
yeah, hell yeah.
So I tried it, and I was like,
Yeah,
"Oh
no,
my god, it's so good."
yeah. How have I missed this my whole life? No,
Yeah.
fry sauce it started at a Arctic Circle,
Uh-huh.
which was a local hamburger chain. And it's kind of a maize ketchup, maybe some horseradish. Who
Yeah.
knows what
Well,
all's in it, but it's
McDonald's special
magical. It's
sauce is,
magically delicious.
like ketchup and mayo
It's
makes special sauce, and you can add a little stuff into it. That would
but
be
yeah,
really good. That would be really good on fries too, as well as ranch. In fact, you could mix ranch in there too.
oh yeah, yeah.
Anyway,
But what I was
I gotta stop
happy
because we got to get out of here. We are already over.
daylight yeah, daylight savings time was all I was gonna say.
Yeah,
Welcome to an extra hour of
yeah. I
sunshine,
mean,
maybe.
I was telling everybody this morning how I am now on Pacific time. So everybody else, their clocks, they move their clocks back, or nowadays it automatically does it, right? You know, and the times just stay the same here in Arizona. So your guys' clocks moved, and we are now on Pacific time because we don't move our clocks. So we were an hour ahead of California and Seattle, Portland, and California, LA, San Diego, San Francisco, and actually where Michelle is in Utah, and Dr. Rose.
Michelle's in Michelle's
I
in
mean, not Utah,
Nevada.
in Nevada. Yeah. See, you're confusing me. Like I tried to call you Michelle earlier, Charlotte. It's like it's been so long since you've actually been on the show. You're really confused me because I'm thinking of you in Utah when I should be thinking of Nevada and Michelle. But my point is that
Well,
her
except that
and
you
Dr. Rose
called
is
me
in the
Michelle all
Bay,
the time anyway.
and Dr. Rose is in the Bay Area as well. And I messaged her this morning. That's Rose that's in the chat there. And I messaged her and let her know that I'm on Pacific time now. It's an hour earlier, which what it means for it means nothing for everybody else because our shows are still 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. But for me, it's an hour earlier. So instead of doing the show at noon, now I'm doing it at 11 a.m., which means I got to get up another hour earlier so that I can get all prepped and everything for the shows. Anyway, just a fun little thing. But I got to get out of here because I have like errands to do, places to go, got to go to stores, got to pick up things. So I need to get out of here.
Yeah,
But it was great having you on the show,
yeah.
Charlotte. Yeah, I hope one of these Tuesdays you'll pop in. Um, Bonnie Chevet has, and Dr. Rose has, and I'm hoping more people will pop in. And Ellie's in the chat. I'm hoping she'll pop in on a Sunday show soon, and we'll just all hang out. But bye for now, everybody. I'll see you on Tuesday. Bye, Charlotte.
Later, Gata.
Later.